inquiries before the Guru, then Krishna will reciprocate our love in any way that we like, as long as we become qualified. That's the secret. So our job is to show, by example, how to become qualified, how to become a beloved of Krishna, and also how to love Krishna, how to offer devotional service to Krishna. What is it that Krishna likes? What makes him happy? So if we do this process, we automatically experience all these things. I don't have to prove it to you. It doesn't require blind faith. Blind faith is not our process. That means religion. Blind faith means you surrender now, and maybe later you get some benefit. Maybe at the end of your life. Maybe. But you have to surrender now, that's for sure. So we say, no, it's not required. Blind faith, not required complete surrender. Surrender just enough to try it. Try the process. And if you give it a fair try, and you actually follow the process and you do it correctly according to the descriptions in the scriptures. We're not making this up. We're not playing a game. You just follow what it says in the scriptures. You don't have to listen to me. Read the books. Do what it says in the book. And guess what? You will get the results exactly as described in the Vedas. The thing is, most people never try it. So if you don't try it, how are you going to know? You can't tell by looking at the outside of a person what their consciousness is like. And maybe you get some hints. But they could be pretending. So you speculate. The only way to really find out is to do it yourself and see. See what the result is. And you can go on our website and you can read so many messages from our students who say, hey, I tried it and it works. Oh, you were expecting something else? We wouldn't do this if it didn't work, believe me. If this didn't work, I would still be a jazz musician, you know? I'd still be playing gigs and, have groupies and stuff. So, if this didn't work, I would go right back to where I came from. But guess what? It really does work. And so I'm here now, I'm teaching. And you can also teach. You can also become spiritual master. It's not very difficult. You just have to be sincere and actually follow the process. So, you had a question?
Those four qualities...
Wait. Take the mic.
You had said that those four...
You don't have to speak directly. It's very sensitive. Just hold it here like this. That's good.
You said that Krishna had those four qualities. Are those the four qualities that Vishnu didn't have?
That's right. We'll get to those maybe tomorrow. Today we're going to study the 10 qualities that only the personality of Godhead possesses.
So does Vishnu have those qualities?
Yes, Vishnu, Narayan, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Okay. So, number 50 is the Supreme Controller. There are two kinds of controllers or lords. One who is independent is called controller, and one whose orders cannot be neglected by anyone is called controller. Regarding Krishna's complete independence and lordship, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam says that although Kaliya was a great offender, Krishna still favored him by marking his head with his lotus feet. Whereas Lord Brahmā, although having prayed to Krishna with so many wonderful verses, still could not attract him. This contradictory treatment by Krishna is just befitting his position, because in all the Vedic literature he is described as the complete independent. In the beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Lord is described as Svarat, which means completely independent. That is the position of the Supreme Absolute Truth. The Absolute Truth is not only sentient, but is also completely independent. Yeah, so Krishna has free will. He has free choice. He can choose how to respond. He can choose how to act. His behavior is not determined by any law. He is the origin of all laws. See? I like to quote that verse, Dharman hi sakshad bhagavat pranitam. That the source of all religious principles is the Lord. His behavior, his ideas, his desires are what determine what is religious behavior, or what are religious principles. So if Krishna wants to bless someone, then he's completely independent to choose that person. And if Krishna wants to kill someone, then nobody can save him, even Lord Brahmā or Lord Śiva. If Krishna wants to bless someone, even if they're a sinful rascal, like Kaliya, then he can do it very easily. Nobody can stop him. So Krishna is supreme, and supreme means independent. He's free. He's completely free to do whatever he likes. Just like Lord Chaitanya says in his Shikshashtaka, that, my dear Lord, you can love me or you can kill me. You can do whatever you want, but you are still my worshipable Lord unconditionally. So Krishna can do whatever he wants, but our position, our duty is to love him and to serve him. That's devotional service. You know, if we say, well, Krishna, I'll serve you if you're nice to me. I'll serve you if you give me a nice big new car or something like that. Is that love? No. That's a business deal. I'll give you this if you give me that. That's not love. That's, business. So we don't want to make a business deal with Krishna. Actually, Krishna is beyond these things. Krishna is the supreme. He's independent. We cannot make a contract with Krishna. He's independent and we are dependent. We're dependent on him for everything. Our very existence comes from him. Just like the rain is dependent on the cloud. The cloud is dependent on the ocean and the sun. They don't have any separate existence. They don't have any independent existence. So similarly, the soul is dependent upon Krishna. We're completely dependent on his will. And his good will is that we should serve him and that we should love him. And when we do that, guess what? We become happy. When we act for ourselves, then we have to accept the consequences of our action as karma. And this doesn't make us happy, quite the opposite. But when we forget about ourselves and we simply love Krishna, then Krishna sees to it that we become happy. This is the miracle of devotional service. This is what does not compute to the materialist. The materialist thinks, unless I take responsibility for my happiness, it's not going to happen. But this is materialistic logic. It may apply to the material world, but it does not apply in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, it's the opposite. If I love Krishna, if I give Krishna happiness, then automatically I become happy. I don't have to worry about my happiness. It's not my concern. Simply, if I concern myself with pleasing Krishna, then everything else good happens all by itself. This is our experience. So Krishna is the supreme controller. As for Krishna's order not being neglected by anyone, in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 3rd canto, 2nd chapter, verse 21, Uddhava tells Vidura, Lord Krishna is the master of the three modes of material nature. He is the enjoyer of all opulences, and therefore there is no one equal to or greater than him. All the great kings and emperors used to come before him, offer their gifts, and pay obeisances with their helmets at the feet of the Lord. One devotee said, "My dear Krishna, when you order Brahma, now you may create the universe. And when you order Lord Śiva, now you may dissolve this material manifestation. You are in this way creating and dissolving the material creation yourself. Simply by your orders and your partial representation of Vishnu, you are maintaining the universes. In this way, O Krishna, O enemy of Kamsa, there are so many Brahmas and Shivas who are simply carrying out your orders." So Krishna's order is absolute. Whatever Krishna determines, whatever